Joined here by Allyson Drury. And Allyson, we appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you.
Hey, just talk about, we're thinking about a few weeks already into the season. You guys got back from Las Vegas at the Desert Stinger. Just kind of recap, what you saw there against those teams, and then we'll talk about these home games we just had. But just kind of recap the Stinger. We saw a lot of good teams there, and you guys came off with, a couple good wins.
Yeah, like you just said, we saw some great competition in Las Vegas, and that was great to get out on some dirt. We had a lot of rainy weather leading up to it, so the first couple games were a little rocky just because we were outside, and that was a little bit of a transition, but we got our bearings, and it was a great opportunity to play some good teams and look and see what we need to improve on and come back home and then play this home game this past weekend, which has been great.
Yeah, how nice was it? We said it's been a while since 2011 where we've had home games in February. I mean, how nice was it to have early February home games that we could actually play on our own turf and get some few games in front of the fans before, it gets to be March?
It was beautiful. It wasn't raining. Yes, it was slightly cold, but we had the turf, like you mentioned, and then we had the outfield, and the outfield wasn't even muddy. So that was great to get outside, get to be on our home field, and get to see another team right before we go into this next big tournament in Tucson.
How much of a transition is it to, we've asked each of the players, I know how, when I played growing up, it's tough to always be inside, like you're in the rubber room, and then, the way the ball reacts and the way you see the ball to then go on to actual field, because when you get to the Stinger, that's not turf, there's actually a field there. Mm-hmm. How much of a transition was it that first game against, like, San Francisco State? Like, hey, the ball's totally different, the way we're reacting. I mean, it always takes a little bit, I'm sure, that first game, right?
Mm-hmm. I know the infield struggled a little bit just with the dirt, but they picked it right back up. In the outfield, when we're stuck inside, we can't see that ball off the bat as well, and you can't make those throws that you're used to playing with, and even just the hops in the outfield is different in Vegas too, but also just trying to make the throws, and the dirt reacts different when you're...
How excited are you looking forward to going to Tucson now? Another place. Hopefully we'll have good weather. Another good place that's down in the desert. Getting to see another good round of good teams. I mean, how much are you looking forward to seeing those teams this week?
Really good teams this weekend. We play some amazing teams, but I think that'll just make us better, make us come together, and we saw some good teams in Vegas. We've been able to come back home, practice, have a few more games in, and now we're hoping to improve on what we did in Vegas and go from there. Like I said, I'm super excited to see how everything comes together, and I know that we've all been working really hard.
When you think about once you came in as a freshman, you got to see, playing time that first year, then you got to play again last year, now going into your junior year. How can you see kind of your game coming together now that you've been in the system now for going on 3 years?
I think your perspective really changes from your freshman year to your sophomore year, and now as an upperclassman, really just wanting to have that team mentality and knowing and doing whatever you need to do for the team, whether that's I'm going to pinch run this game, or I'm going to DP this game, or I'm going to play here this game, and just knowing whatever you do, you're bringing something to the team, and you can really see that transition. Maybe each year is slightly different, each series is slightly different, and I think that's one big mental change that I've seen in myself, and I am sure a ton of other players go through it too, just knowing your role and doing that to the best of your ability.
How great was it last year, too, to finally break through? We've always been near the GNACs, getting to the tournament, making that push, but not quite getting to regional. So how nice was it to break through? Not only that, you guys made some noise and almost, won the regional. I mean, how much confidence did it give you guys and, wanting to reach that bar this year?
I think we've had this mentality and this confidence that we can make it to GNAC, and that was an expectation. And now that we went to regionals last year, we can push ourselves even more and know that that is not only a possibility, but it can be a reality. And so we have that confidence as a team that we can work hard to get to this point. And so it's really exciting going into this next season, knowing that, hey, we work hard enough, if we do what we need to do now in preseason and carry that on into conference, we have a great chance to keep working on and going to regionals eventually, so that's pretty neat.
When you think about the sport of softball, what kind of got you into it, and what do you enjoy the most about playing it?
I love sports. I loved to be active when I was little, and that just went into softball. It's a really competitive game, and I love that aspect of it. And one of the biggest things that have kept me playing for so long is just the community that you get in playing sports. I have some of my best friends on the team. I live with a couple of my teammates, and they help you through the hard times, the rocky patches, and the good patches, whether that be in softball or school or any other aspect of your life. And I have to say that's probably one of the main reasons that I've kept playing for so long, is that community of a team.
And how about for you, choosing WOU, being from California? I mean, kind of what was the draw to come to WOU, and what have you enjoyed the most about being here on campus?
Well, I initially came to WOU just for that community. I come from a small town in Northern California, and so seeing that you have the rolling fields right outside of the softball field, that reminded me of home. And I was drawn to the fact that I can go into a class and there are not 300 students in there. There's 25, and I can go into office hours and they recognize me and they ask how softball is doing. They ask how the last tournament was, and that's a huge difference in comparison to other schools.
All right, Allyson. Well, we really appreciate you joining us today. Best luck the rest of the season, and we'll be catching up with you soon.
Thank you.